What's up, everyone? How's it going, everyone? I had to change the screen, but yeah. So, Dream Story Reality Podcast. We're back with another episode.
Oh yeah.
It's Rickson and Promogod. How you doing,
Yes,
Rickson?
sir. Chilling, bro. Chilling.
Man,
4:50 a.m. here, up early.
Rickson's in Brazil, as I mentioned. But yeah. How's things been going? How's everything been going?
Solid, bro. Just living life, man. Life is great. Can't be blessed and just working on on turning dreams to reality, man. Just put out a new single this last Saturday, putting out a lot of clips that I recorded in Rio from like the earlier in the year. I got an editor, locked in, so it took some time to really get the project going. But I wanted to drop it with visuals, so just dropped the just dropped the song on Saturday on the 11th. So it's Thursday now. And just
Yeah, make sure you
working on
guys go
that
check it
basically,
out.
man.
What was that?
So just working on that on Victory. The song's called Vitória, which means victory in Portuguese.
Yeah, so if you're someone who's new to this podcast and you want to check out his music, make sure you go and do so. Um, I'll leave the I'll leave his Instagram in the description, so you guys can just go on the Instagram.
You
But
can
yeah,
also
man,
just
we're gonna
Google Rickson Satiro. Just Google it. Type it anywhere, you'll find it. I'm the only one on planet Earth with that name combination.
he's the only one on planet Earth with that combination.
I'm serious. It doesn't exist. I'm serious.
That's good. You know, a lot of artists. Well, that's a good thing we can talk about. Like a lot of artists, when you Google them, nothing comes up. You know,
Yeah. You got it. Well,
it's good to
it's
have
tough. I
that
mean,
unique name.
it kind of depends, I think, right? Like I think it was like, I saw an interview with Pitbull, and he was
Hmm.
like, if you Google Pitbull, I come up before the doc, and it was like, it was pretty cool, right? Like, I mean, I think you can get ranked if you're, famous enough for something, but definitely choosing a unique name helps. It helps, right? For sure.
Hmm. It's just important to have, searchability because
Yes.
the algorithm picks up on that,
Yeah.
especially these days with the AI, like the AI
Yeah.
on all the AI on all these platforms kind of like coexist, and if you're well known on if you're the, if you come up on Google, you're more likely to, get more views and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, for example, I remember when I was a fan of Kendrick a lot back in the days, right? Even when he was K-Dot, because I grew up in LA, and I remember early interviews. This is before social media, Instagram was really big. He was like, it was a big marketing thing of his. People would ask him like, "Where can I find your music? Where can I find stuff on interviews?" Right?
Hmm.
And he would just be like, "Oh, just Google my name, Kendrick Lamar. Google my name, find everything." Right? Because he had
Hmm.
like a pretty, that name Kendrick Lamar, it was ranked, so like it worked. Right? It's a similar thing. Like it was, especially that time, it was like now you wouldn't say Google it. You'd be like Chat GBT it, Gemini it, right? Whatever.
Hmm. That's the thing, there's so many different things that go into like the SEO and marketing and getting your music out there. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're getting a lot of views and stuff like that, because you'll pop up. Like if I search my name, Promogod, like I come up, and it helps a
I mean,
lot.
look, it's like it's interesting because you talk about the value just putting out content, right? And it's so true because I'll tell you an interesting story. There was a time in my life where I was living in a warehouse of somebody that was like giving me work and let me live in the warehouse. Like I was basically homeless, right? And long story short, you see this tattoo right here on my chest, this dragon.
Hmm.
So this was a pro bono, this tattoo. It was a tattoo artist who knew a friend of mine who was an artist, a rapper. It was like his cousin, and he had like I guess just started this tattoo shop or just started there, and it was out in the valley, bro, like really far from where I was staying. Right, I was staying in
Hmm.
Torrance, and it was all the way in I don't remember what valley, but it took like 2 hours to get there. But he hit me up, and he was like, "Hey, like he offered to do it for free in exchange for like social media stuff or whatever, right? Like me putting it
Yeah.
up on my social media." So I was like, okay, I'm down, right? That sounds, and I had this idea for a long time to do a dragon that was kind of like Shenron from Dragon Ball Z, but unique in a way, like not like an exact copy. Like I wanted something kind of unique, and he came up with this, right? The actual idea was supposed to be more. That was the first session. This it was supposed to have a body that wrapped around my back and my torso, and the tail kind of went down here into like my into like my waist, like pelvic region, kind of like if the tail was ending at the bottom here of my stomach and wrapping around me, and the dragon's head is here, and its claws would be here. That was my idea. So it didn't get fully executed. We just did this one session. So I drove out to the valley in this. I was using one of my dad's cars, like a smart car, one of them little cars. Imagine, bro, it was so
Hmm.
windy because I'm driving through the valley and the wind is like, you driven a smart car. You remember you see me
Yeah.
with that car, right? Bro, I felt like the car was gonna fly, because it's so small. Imagine you on the highway just going crazy. And but it took me hours, but I went, right? And then I remember I posted on my Instagram the tattoo. I had like a shirtless photo of showing the tattoo. And around this time, I'm smoking a lot of cigarettes. And I used to go in the back of the warehouse and just like, smoke a cigarette, whatever. I was working there, helping them with stuff in warehouse. I also, by the way, had a studio set up in this warehouse. I brought my studio
Right.
equipment and I was like recording in there and everything. It's like sleeping one of them wooden pallets, but put like a little mattress there, and I'd wake up in the morning, all his employees would come in and I was in the back, you know what I'm saying, doing my thing. And I was working and doing a bunch of stuff at once, right? And one day I walk out smoking a cigarette, just like another day. Threw the cigarette in the trash. Bro, I go inside, right? I'm chilling.
Hmm.
I'm sitting down. There's this glass door, right, from the outside to where I'm at. And it was like 6, 7 p.m. Like sunset should be almost dark already. And I look outside, right? I just glance over to the side. And I'm like, damn, it's kind of bright outside. I thought it was dark. Bro, I walk outside. The the whole trash can's on fire. But it was like raging fire, like huge. It's one of them big trash cans, bro.
Hmm.
And on the other side of the warehouse, there's like another warehouse there that like they create airplane parts, like big
Hmm.
engines, like parts for airplanes, bro. I looked outside, I'm like, no way I did this shit. Bro, a fireman came and like there was like this big machine that the company that makes these airplane parts had put in there, and the firemen came and they like hosed it down, and then the fire got worse. It started shocking. It was and it became huge. I was like, bro, this whole building's gonna burn down. You know what I'm saying? Because it was right next to the wall. It was hitting the wall. It was, bro, and I'm like quiet, looking up like I don't know. I was like, should I say something, right? And I'm like, and I felt bad. I was in a very depressed state during this time of my life, right? So I was like, what the fuck? Like another thing, you know? I even it was my ex brother-in-law, right? Who he has his business, right? He was the one that let me stay there and everything. I told him about the story, and I'm like, dude, honestly, I think it was me. Like, I think I threw a cigarette in there. It probably caught on fire with something there that was, it sparked up, and then boom. And like, I didn't realize I didn't put out the cigarette, right? Like, I just kind of chucked it in there. And then, man, I felt so bad. But he wasn't even mad at me, He was like, "Oh, it's all good," you know what I mean? I was like, "But bro, I felt bad about it, right?" But
Yeah.
there's the point to this. The point to this is the same day or the next day, I get a DM from a friend of mine who follows me on Instagram. Well, friend of mine, his name is Alex. He's a Brazilian American as well. He's actually Brazilian Spanish, but he moved to America. And he hits me up and he's like, "Fire!" Like he replies to the tattoo. It was on my story. He replied to my story. And then he sends me a message. He's like, "Hey, bro, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but basically, he offered me a sales job with the company he was working with, doing like door-to-door sales, right?
Yeah.
And they were gonna pay for my. And he offered like talked to me about it and pay, and we did that same day. We talked about it. He offered to pay for my flight. He had a place in Fort Worth, Texas, where he was staying, where I could stay with him as well. Like,
Hmm.
you know, it was a apartment there with multiple rooms, and like, you know, they would take care of that aspect of it. Like, they would fly me out and boom, and to get started because he thought I could like be this type of person that would do this job. And obviously, he made, you know, money by me making money. Like, you know, that's how the recruiting, right? So it's obviously is a benefit for him too. But it was like the perfect timing, right? Because I was like, I was in this fucked up scenario. I just fucking went through this. I went, you know, I wasn't making that much money with this either, and it was like I was just like, you know, it was in a bind, right? And this came to me, and I was like, all right, do it. Next day, I'm on a flight, and then I ended up doing very well in door-to-door sales. Made the most money I had made up to that point in my life in that job. But like, and I learned a lot. But the reason I bring that up, man, is because had I never went and got the tattoo, had I never posted the photo of me, because what happened is, you see, we talk about the importance of getting attention. Like, this guy is one person, by the way. It's not like a bunch of views, but this is one person that noticed me because the tattoo, it got his attention, right? It's like, oh shit, I had seen this guy pop up in a while,
Hmm.
and caused him to be interested to engage with me. Then he said, fuck, oh yeah. Hey, Rick, by the way, just like recently, I had someone reach out to me like this week. You know, I was posting a lot of these talking head clips. You know, I'm going to put it on the second channel now, right? And I was actually, I noticed a drop off, like with followers. I kind of think maybe some people got tired of it. Maybe it looks too try hard, whatever. Because I'm experimenting, right? I'm somebody that's never scared to try. So I try a bunch of different stuff, even if it doesn't work out in the short term. And, but like there was this one guy that I know, he's a pretty financially well off, right? Kind of older baller type individual. He was always liking those posts that I was doing, those talking head ones, for example, all the time.
Hmm.
And then like this randomly, he hits me up and he wants me like to pay me to teach him English. Right? I set him my price. We'll see if he would do it or not. But my point is, he seems very serious about it. He sent me like two fucking 2 minute long voice messages explaining what he wants to do and exactly how he wants to do it. So like I know for a fact he saw me doing these videos, speaking in English all the time, and probably also doing speaking Portuguese. And then he's like, it went in his head like, fuck, this guy right here would be great to teach me, right? So even though it wasn't getting a lot of views, but one person could be a big client for something. And my point is that like you never know where you're going to get these opportunities. The point is getting attention in some way that you can. So like you might get attention doing some, you know, some random video, just you looking cool, just you doing something funny, but that attention might bring you people to you and they're like, "Oh, this guy makes music too or this girl makes music too. Oh, wow. Let me go listen to their music." Or they have a product that they sell or something, right? It's all about
Yeah.
capitalizing attention with in any way you can. And you know, don't get so caught up in the views because you really don't need everyone to see it. You just need a few people to see it. Even to blow up, you just need one person to see it that has a big audience that says, "You know what? I want to share this so good." And then boom, you blow up. Right?
Yeah.
So
You never know who's watching you,
never know
you
who's
might not.
watching.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's one thing that I tell artists is like, if you're good and you're posting consistently, it doesn't matter if people unfollow. If that one person sees you that potentially wants to invest in you and help you get to the next level, that can change your life.
Yeah, and most of the time, like I go through this psychologically, right? But most of the time, those people who unfollow you were never really followers or fans or anything, anyways. Most of the time. They were kind of just seeing what's up. Maybe they thought you were like handsome or cute or whatever, right? Like, you know, like they probably didn't really they weren't really invested in you anyways. They just kind of like
Yeah, they're
whatever.
not real fans to begin with.
Yeah, like I saw, I think I saw a old, long time ago, Grant Cardone, because Grant Cardone was somebody in that space, right? That was like posting a lot. And like people would be like, damn, how you post so much? Like people get tired of you. This is back in the day. And he did interviews. He's like, dude, I think he was talking to like another entrepreneur, another like influencer type of person in that
Hmm.
space. And he was like, dude, you're not gonna buy from me. I don't care. Follow me, motherfucker. He was like, you're not my client. You're not gonna buy from me anyways, right?
Yeah.
So and I remember hearing that, and I was like, damn, that's a good point. It's like people are not going to do anything with you anyways, you know, like Who do I care that there's some random hot girl from Instagram unfollowed me because I post something that looks weird? I wasn't going, I wasn't going to link up with her anyways, right? This person that I knew from back in the day or this person I just met in passing, fly by night type people, it's like, who cares? You know?
Yeah, like there's people that follow you and don't engage with you. And those people, if they unfollow you, it's better for the algorithm, because the thing is, like, if you have 1,000 people following you because of some random reason that has nothing to do with your music or nothing to do with your podcast, those people not engaging, it's ruining your reach. So it's
Yeah.
actually better for them to unfollow you for your algorithm.
Yeah. And that's a good point. That's a great point, actually. And like the thing is, like, the way I look at it too is why have these people like you said follow you anyways? Like you have to be yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
if by being yourself and doing things that you want to do, people are not interested, then you don't want those people anyways because they're not really interested in what you actually are and have to offer. It's not even like a fuck these people. It's just no, it's not synergized, right? And
Right.
so it's a good thing. You're kind of filtering out the people that are not your fans and bringing in the people that are, like you said, and it's beneficial even for the algorithm. And also to add on to that, a lot of people unfollow you and still be looking at you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people
Yes.
there's a lot of people that won't follow you for a certain reason, but they'll look at your profile. They'll remember you. They'll be checking up on you. What might be an ex-girlfriend, an ex-boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Might be an ex-fan. Might be somebody that's just lurking on you from the shadows. It's like you gotta always put yourself out there in the best way you can, I think, and that's what I've done. Like I've just noticed. That's why I give you that story, right? I have so many more stories like this. I've just noticed so many times that like me putting myself out there has never been a negative. It's actually always been a net positive. The only negative is the psychological comparison thing that we go through as artists and as creators that we start looking like, oh, well, this only got this many views or this only got this many likes. Nobody's engaging with it. I'm going through
Yeah.
that right now with my new song, for example,
I'm
but I'm
I'm
pushing through it.
I make that mistake a lot where if I post something and it doesn't get a lot of views, I kind of archive it. But then again, I'll get on consultation calls and people will remember those videos. Like, oh, you said this on this video. And I'm like, damn, the person didn't even like it, and it didn't get a lot of views and likes, but a lot of people saw it and it like, and they're referencing it and like learning from it. So even if you post something and it doesn't get a lot of views, it doesn't mean it's not bringing someone value. And that's
Yeah,
ultimately that all that
yeah,
matters because
yeah,
if you're consistent posting, say you post 100 times, a month and you reach 10 new people every time you post. I mean, that's gonna turn into thousands and thousands of people that stick around. That's actually how I built my career. Like a lot of people think that I'm going viral. I just recently started going viral organically. Prior to that,
yeah,
I was getting like, 600, 700 likes per post. And I'll just keep posting and posting until I got to the point where I had a big enough fan base that would, follow me and then just kind of watch everything that I do.
yeah.
So it's like the consistency is way better than virality.
That's a great point. And yeah, like, and also sometimes you go viral and you maybe you get a lot of attention and followers, but it doesn't necessarily convert. I hear people say that all the time, right? And I
Hmm.
think that focus on the few, not the many, especially if you're doing something like what you do. It's like not everybody's gonna buy that.
Right.
Only certain types of people. Like there's a certain that's why it's like the niche thing, right? There's a certain type of audience for what you create. Even mainstream artists like have their niche usually, like their
Yeah.
sound, their thing. And that's what actually got their cult like fan base
Yeah.
until they got a massive hit that brought them a lot of attention. But
Yeah.
they still have that core foundation and that core fan base that loves them for that like that thing that only they can do. And I
Hmm.
think that that's what's important. And like you said, you may be getting, a few views on something, but it's the quality of the views too. You got to think, right? We have to look at it realistically. There's a time before the internet where like get attention on anything, like you had to pay or be in a place physically or be in television or be in a newspaper. Like now we can post online and without even paying for ads, you can actually get a lot of organic attention. And like when we look at, let's say I put something that's like, oh, I got 100 views. We might think, oh, that's nothing. But 100 views? Like imagine 100 people watching you in a room, right?
Yeah,
Like that's actually pretty substantial. And what if, when we're talking money, what if it's like you sell a business or even, have somebody that could spend money with you, right?
right.
I mean, how much a percentage of the planet is really wealthy? What if that 100 people that are viewing you are all billionaires? As
Yeah.
an example, right? Like you never really know. Yeah, you can't gauge it just based on that metric of, oh, I got so many views and I got so many likes. It's kind of a vanity metric, I think, right?
The thing about going viral is like when you entertain people or you provide value and you're not looking for conversions, you can go viral, but it doesn't do anything for you. Because what's important is the conversions. Like if I post and I get 10,000 views and 1,000 of them go and stream my song, that's better than getting 500,000 views where only like 37 people stream the song, you know?
Yeah. That being
So,
said, getting attention is important though, right? Like, 'cause for example,
yeah,
those few ones that you have that hit, like that brings you a lot of people, right?
yeah.
It's like I know people who are creators and sell different things, whether it be music or maybe they have like a OnlyFans or something like that, or some kind of a product or Patreon stuff like that, right? They sell some kind of
Hmm.
exclusive content on another site, and like I met people when they were like 19 years old and made like 100,000 a month, and
Yeah.
consistently kept doing that 50 grand to 100,000 every month. And I'm like, every time I talked to them though, they had a viral moment, right? Like I knew this one girl, I don't remember her name. I don't maintain contact with her anymore. It was a long time ago. And that's what happened with her. She like did a TikTok with this guy that did TikToks with these girls. And she was like, I think she was like kind of Arab or she was Mexican, but a lot of Arabs liked her, and it was like she was known as like a Latina something. It was something she said in the video she did with this guy that went viral. It was like a little phrase she said, and it blew her up like crazy, right? Because she did that collab with him. He already had an audience, but she did
Yeah.
something that went even more viral that was beneficial for them both, but obviously using the guy's attention helped her. And like then made an OnlyFans and in like a month fucking made 90 grand her first month, and she's like it was like she was like 19 years old, right? I can think of many examples
Hmm.
like this. So people's lives can definitely change literally overnight by going viral on something, right?
Right,
So
right,
but you're not going to get there, praying and hoping, and well, praying is good, but you know what I mean, like not taking action. You're not going to get there by just like overthinking, right? The people who get there don't overthink. They're not scared, right? They don't live in
right.
fear. They take risks. They try it. They think intelligently, but they try it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that don't make it because they're afraid, Like they're talented, but they're too afraid to put themselves out there and try new things because they think like people are gonna judge them or they're gonna look too cringy and they just don't post or put themselves out there and it just stops them from becoming successful. Like honestly, I don't know what is up with a lot of artists because a lot of artists are just not consistent enough. They're like afraid to, and it's because of fear, like a lot of them think that if they go and do something cringy or if they post content, they're going to be defined by it, because a lot of artists don't want to be known as influencers or content creators. They just want to be known as musicians. But if you haven't blown up yet, like if you haven't blown up when like Lil Wayne blew up, you're gonna need to post content, because a lot of those artists like Lil Wayne, Drake blew up before the content era, and they have like everyone knows who they are.
But I feel like when you're talking like that, like is that like a certain age range of artists? The reason I'm asking is because, for example, bro, I think of something. I remember when I was like in my 20s, there was these people I knew, like, they were like 15, 14, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I remember like I went in a room and I saw like they had posters of, I don't remember who it was, but it was during the Vine days. Like they were like looking at these like influencers on Vine like as if they're like Hollywood celebrities, right? Putting posters of them
Hmm.
on the room, like they went to meet and greets, they like were huge fans. And I remember like that was the first time it clicked in my head. It was a long time ago, over a decade. It was like a decade ago, something like that. Maybe a little, not
Right.
maybe not a decade, half a decade, something like that. And I remember it clicked in my head, and I'm just like, damn, like this is the new Hollywood, right? This is
Hmm.
the new top thing. Like nobody wants to even be a rapper. They want to be an influencer. They want to be a streamer. They want to be the same way we used to want to be like rappers and ball players. Like people want to be streamers and influencers and YouTubers, right? That's the new thing that everybody's like, I want to do that, right? I want to blow up on social media. I want to be this, right? Like we saw the transition from the want to be a model to want to be an Instagram model, right? Like with females, for example, like there is still people who do want to still do the traditional modeling thing, like fashion modeling or runway
Right.
modeling. But like most women, like young, don't imagine that they're like, I want to be an Instagram model, right? Because you have more freedom. You do what you do.
Hmm.
It's your thing. You want to build your brand, and people want to influence and be influencers in different platforms. And I think that that's actually desired, is what I'm trying to say. Like, and I think that like if I don't understand somebody that would look at it as a negative. When
Yeah.
you look at the biggest artists in the world, they're all always they're collabing with influencers and streamers because they have
Right.
attention online. They have the young market, and entertainment is usually a younger market. So it's just like an old archaic way of even thinking.
Yeah. A lot of those artists just have a picture in their head of how they think they're supposed to make it, you know? And that's one thing that I
Yeah.
think a lot of artists are stopping them from becoming successful because you can't predict how you're gonna make it. You can believe in yourself and know that you're gonna make it, but you're not gonna envision how you're gonna make it, and it's not gonna exactly be like that. You can make it in a various amount of ways, but you never really know what's gonna, take off for you and what's gonna be the thing that puts you on. You just have to
Yeah,
keep
like do you
pushing.
remember the first video, or it could be photo too, that really like took you off? Or
Yeah, so
one example.
I made a video a long time ago on Facebook talking about music marketing, and it just kind of blew up, went viral within the music marketing community. And it just essentially kind of got me, in front of like tens of thousands of people that were interested in working with me. But um as far as like, for me, like for businesses, content is definitely like the number one thing, For artists, you don't need content necessarily, but if you don't want to do content, you need a big budget to do other things and to get your music out there. And I think, with artists that don't have a budget and don't want to post content, it's just kind of screwed.
Well, you need content though. Like you need content. I mean, that doesn't have to be like content you're making, but you need, what do you mean? You need media. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, you
you,
need media
you
somehow, like
know,
interviews,
yeah,
performances.
that's all content, right? Like
Yeah,
there's
right,
different
right.
ways you can roll out the content. You can do a selfie shot, or you can do like
But what
say
I meant
you
is
say,
like, you don't have to be a daily content creator if you have a big budget. You can just post like some clips of your music videos and musics, and you can run big ads on them, and you can get a lot of traction.
yeah, I mean, or you can network with other people that have audiences and figure out a way to get them to share your stuff and post it as well, right?
Right.
Money helps with that, right? 'Cause some people you can offer money, but like you also can use relationships and networking and getting creativity, right? Definitely, like that's the beauty of this game. Is there's not one way. Like you don't have to be a person who just posts daily videos all the time. You can just create this one cool thing, and then behind the scenes find a way to get it in front of people, right? If you don't have money,
Right.
you got to use your resources. You got to use your connections. You got to start, even if it's like fucking just DMing people, like, hey, check out my song. What do you
Yeah.
think? You know what I mean? Like finding a way to get it in front of the right people. So that's what it's about. It's about capitalizing attention. Yeah. And that's cool that that happened to you. When that happened, like, do you remember anything about the video? Like the story, like when you made it, or like
Yeah, I was
guide people.
just
Look, bro, dreams to reality. Guide people. How the fuck did you go from that being a dream? Fuck, I want to make money in music marketing and do it right to it clicked. It's my reality now. What was
Well,
that transition?
honestly, it took time because it was just more about consistency. I'd post like 3 to 5 times a day for like 3 years straight, and I got to the point where on Facebook I was one of the most known marketers, for music. So there's no one little thing that you can do that is going to change anything in a short period of time, especially if you're starting out with no money. But the consistency in which where you talk about what you're essentially promoting, what your message is, and your services, the compound effect kind of takes place. Like you get 10 fans a day for 3 years. I mean, that's a good amount of fans.
Yeah, it's like
And
compound interest, baby. You just gotta
yeah,
keep stacking. Eventually, you get a snowball. You know?
correct. Yeah. Because I was posting little quotes and stuff, and I did that for about a year, and then I was like, let me try video, because I was like a little stagnant, and I posted a video talking about why artists need to market their music, like uh I started talking about how strangers will be the first people to really support you and stop, trying to depend on your friends and family members. I was saying things like that before anyone else was even thinking of what marketing was. So it
Yeah,
like
you're
really
early.
struck a chord, and it got a lot of people to engage in what I was doing.
Right. Basically, it sounded like you spoke to your core audience. Like you spoke to their desires, their needs, their wants, their belief system. Because you were one, you were artist, right? So you understood. Like you were
Right.
artist who was like focused on being an artist, and then you found marketing more interesting, you transition. So you knew the same feelings, emotions, and thoughts that artists go through and those experiences. So I think
Yeah.
probably that was one of the things that you probably didn't consciously do it, where you by sharing like these thoughts on how to market yourself properly and the things you're going to deal with, like the problems, a lot of people listen to it and they can relate, right? Everybody who's an artist knows that feeling and knows those situations of you, people supporting you and all that stuff that you spoke about. And you're speaking to the audience, right? That's something that I'm improving and that I notice successful artists do is like they speak to their audience, right? Their story, their music,
Yeah.
their art. They're speaking to us. There's a person that out there that's like identifies with what that person is saying, and they feel
Right.
like really close to the story that they're telling. They identify with
Yeah,
that artist.
that's absolutely like what marketing is these days is speaking to your intended audience. You never know who your audience is going to be and what's going to work for you, so you have to test out early on, but once you figure
Mhm.
out something that's working, you got to keep speaking to that demographic. You got to keep posting content for them. You got to talk, any questions they may have, you got to post about it. Because my content strategy goes a little like this. I take like some stuff that I know artists want to know about the music industry and I post videos about it. And then people ask me a bunch of questions. And then I make videos about those questions. And then I
Yeah,
kind of
you build a
expand and
community.
then I show people how to do certain things. So it's just essentially you figuring out what your message is, what your voice is, figuring out who your audience is, and just keep repeatedly posting videos for that specific audience.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's like if I play devil's advocate, right? It's just like, well, how do I do that, right? How do I do this? I don't know. What do I say? How do
So,
I?
what you want to do is identify values and interests that relate to your music and just post about those interests and values. So, like, let's just say I was a music marketer. I mean, I was a musician who makes emo rap music. I would essentially try to present that in my visuals and music and content, to speak to that audience directly.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it makes total sense.
And yeah, so a lot of artists are also just you know too early in the journey to make it. Like a lot of artists want to make it like really fast, and I don't think they give it enough time. The thing is, I
It-
think, if you're not consistent, you really haven't put in any years. Because like as an artist, it takes a year of consistency to say, "Oh, I've been doing this for a year." Most
Yeah.
artists will do something for a couple weeks, stop doing it, do it another couple weeks, stop doing it, do it another couple weeks, stop doing it. That's not really how you put yourself on. You gotta essentially make do this shit every day for years in a row until something happens.
Right. Yeah. I believe that you have to be in it for the long haul. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to win, you have to. You know what I'm saying? This game is
Yeah.
competitive. The game is competitive, man. Everybody wants that
The
spot.
thing is, like, there's someone else out there that wants it worse, better than you.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think those are the people that succeed because, like, if me and you did the same thing and we're at the same level and you posted more than me, I mean, you're gonna make it. I'm not.
Yeah,
But
or sometimes not just post more. That's a simplified way to put it, and I agree. But it could be maybe they have a better strategy, right? Maybe you have better resources. Maybe you have
Mhm.
a better team. Maybe you just
Right.
you just got maybe you just got the sauce. Some people just got the sauce, bro. Especially with
Hmm.
creativity, like with entertainment. It's not about like there's one element to this shit that you can't really even put in words, and that's called the vibe. It's called
Right.
just you just got it. That's called that they got the it factor. Like, oh yeah, they got it because you can't explain that in words, but it's just the feeling. Like that person knows how to express themselves a certain way, push shit together a certain way where it just hits, right? Some people just got it. I mean, you gotta know how to make the sauce. You gotta learn to cook up, but you either got the sauce or you don't. You either wavy or you're not. Some people are not meant for the game. The game is just is not for everybody, bro. And a lot of people I
Yeah,
think they're trying to force themselves into the game but it's not really who they are.
I don't know. I kind of disagree because I feel like you can be someone who is not even that talented and you can succeed just based off, having a good strategy. But because ultimately, like, it's not how it used to be. People don't buy records, they stream the music. And if you know how to get clicks and streams, I mean, you're gonna be successful.
But
Like,
that's what I mean though. When I say that person has the sauce, like they know how to get attention. They know how to pull people into their situation, right?
right.
They understand
Yeah.
like how to like that's what I mean. Like they might not have this is what I'm trying to say. Let me re-explain, right? You might have
Hmm.
everything on paper. You might have all the specs, all the specifications like a computer. You might have this, that, boom, 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 boom. But the audience is still going to choose somebody else that don't have your specs. You know why? Because they connect more with that person. It's kind of like dating,
Yeah.
bro. Like how many times you see a situation where it's like, let's say female, for example, right? She's
Hmm.
dating some guys, and there's one guy, he's got on paper, the guy's got everything, right? He's got money, he's good looking, he's want to take care of her, provide, all the stuff,
Yeah.
all the checkpoints. But there's some guy who ain't got nothing, living in his car probably. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he's just got, but you know what he's got? He just got the sauce. He's got the vibe. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
logically, this guy has everything, but this guy knows how to touch her emotions in a way that she can't resist it. Same thing with entertainment, same thing with creators and stuff like that, right? Like
right.
there's people that have everything on paper, but they haven't connected with the audience. And there's people that have everything wrong, but they connect with the audience and people love them.
I agree. Yeah. I'm the guy that has everything on paper and then
And has the sauce. No,
imagine like,
exactly. That's how you get, by the way, that's how you're a star. You have everything.
yeah, if
It's
you
like
have
it,
like these days, like you could just be good at being an artist as a successful artist. Like you can just be an artist that's mediocre with music and really good with content. You can succeed. But if you
yes.
have both, you're gonna be a superstar.
Yeah, I would argue that most of the big artists in the game, most are what you just said. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of people would agree with that. And I'm not shitting on their music or shitting on what they do. I'm just saying that I think a lot of people are in that situation. And but what you said is also true, which is the superstars, right? It's a
Yeah,
different
like a
game.
Travis Scott and a Drake has more elements just working
Yeah,
together.
they got so much sauce, and they got the whole logistical side and the team and the business side. You know, everything is in point on point. You have to
Yeah.
be at that level. It's kind of like an athlete, right? World Cup is going on right now. Argentina, Spain in the finals, and like a player like a Messi, for example, or even Cristiano, right?
So
These guys,
it's
like,
only Argentina and Spain left?
yeah. And then the third place is going to be England and France.
Wow, that's crazy. Two South Americans and two
No, one
Europeans.
South American. Spain is in Europe, brother.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry,
Yeah, no, I know. I just said that.
it's been a long day. I'll give you that.
No, because they speak Spanish, so I was thinking.
Yeah, Spain, it's basically the conquistador versus the the imperialist, right? Because Spain is the one that founded Argentina, just like Portugal founded Brazil, and just like England founded, a lot of the America, right?
Just like
Yeah.
how
Yeah,
yeah,
so
it's
we it's
crazy.
gonna be it's the European conquistador versus the I don't even know what to call it. There's a word for it when you're the company the country that gets conquered. I forget the word, but pilgrim, no, something like that. I forget. Colony. That's the word. The colonizer versus the colony. That's what's going on. Yes, that's what I meant to say. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting match. If Argentina wins, my city's going to go crazy because there's so many Argentinians here. But like, anyways, I was speaking about that because of athleticism. Like, if you look at Messi's story, he has a great story. That's one of my favorite. I think he's one of the best players of all time. And Cristiano too. Like, these are people who have talent. Like Cristiano is a great example. He's somebody who was incredibly talented at the sport. He has the sauce, like I just said. But this guy, disciplined and works his ass off. Man, I'm telling you, Cristiano's Portuguese. If he was Brazilian, oh my God, he'd be the best player we had. We did won a few World Cups. He's incredible. He's a Portugal. It's kind of tough. But and also the game has changed. A lot of these guys, they play really good in their clubs because they get paid a lot of money, and they're more focused on that than necessarily their country. The game's a little different when it comes to it's a lot about money now. But it applies, right? When you look at athleticism and you look at that, right? Yes, if you do all the right things and you have the right strategy and you logically, right, you get all the okay, you're good at this, you're good at that, you're good at this. You can get in the league, right? You can get in FIFA, you can get in the NBA, NFL, whatever sport. You can get in the league. You can be a UFC fighter, right? You can be there. But to be a superstar, to be one of the top best, takes a different edge. Takes a higher level of commitment and dedication and expertise and strategy, all these things that you mentioned, but it also takes that sauce, that it factor, that thing that
And you
can't
know
be
what's
explained to
crazy? A
words.
lot of people looking from the outside in, they don't realize how much work it takes because a lot of these athletes and musicians try to make it seem like it's all glitz and glamour, like it's
Yeah, it's like
all happen.
effortless. It seems
Yeah.
effortless. It's like, oh, we just woke up today and just, this is what it is.
Just
We
woke
made a
up today
song.
and I made a hit song and just woke up today. I performed in front of 60,000 people, taking pictures with gold and stuff like that, and cars and jewelry. But reality, they're probably in the studio for like days straight, sleeping in the studio. They're putting in a lot of work behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see, you
Yeah,
know?
we know just on ad spend, just on marketing costs, let's say, their marketing budgets of these
Right.
big artists. It's like, we got people that's
Like a
like,
lot.
man, $1,000 is a lot for a marketing budget. And I understand. I'm not trying to shit on anybody in any way, shape, or form. But what I'm saying is that like these big artists' marketing budgets, like they spend 100x that, 1,000x that in you know what I'm saying? Like in a short
Yeah,
amount of time.
I mean, LaRusso was talking about how he spent, I don't know, it was like hundreds of thousands in a few months,
Right. Exactly.
you know?
So you're competing against those people in this marketplace, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta find a way to get resourceful, get creative. And organic content is the way. Like, and it might not be like this forever. That's why we got to take advantage now. It might not be like this forever.
Yeah, like as you mentioned earlier, it's free to post on social media. There's no other way that you can market yourself that's free, you know? I think one day they're gonna start charging people to post.
Well, we see certain monetizations already happening, right? IG just put out Instagram Plus, for example. And
Mm-hmm.
before that with the Meta Verified, and Twitter did it with X, right? Where you could pay for this and that. So they're adding these subscription things within the platform to which kind of make it's like a video game. Like, you have free to play video games and you have what they call pay to win video games, which are free to play, but you pay to win, right? Because you pay, you get special perks in the game that actually make it a lot more competitive for you. Like you're gonna win more, you're gonna have better items and stuff like that, depending on the game, right? And people are very against that because it creates a kind of economy where it's like if you have money, you're gonna win, right? And you
Right.
need to buy certain things to win. Some
Yeah,
games are not.
it's
Like some
crazy.
games are just like usually a good free to play video game is free, and
That's that's
the pay to win stuff is cosmetic. But that's what's
that's a
happening with
good
social media. It's pay to win.
it's a good way to uh that's a good way to look at the music industry. Music is free to make it, but it's not, I mean, free to make music, but it's not free to make it in the music industry, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a pay to play type of thing,
Yeah, it's pay to win.
and there's never been an artist that blew up without paying, you know? Can you
We got to
believe
pay in
that?
something, right? Maybe you pay in blood, sweat, and tears instead of US
Yeah, I
dollar,
mean,
right?
I don't know. Like, even like the artists that were really broke had people behind them that were spending money, you know?
At some point, yes. At some point,
I'm not saying like you could get lucky. Like, there was this artist named Superstar Pride who just got on TikTok and started posting, little videos. He went viral, but he fell off like a couple months later because it was luck, you know? It was when you don't pay for something, you don't have a way to measure it, you know?
it's because
It's
you don't
like,
have a
how do I
system.
create that same viral effect over and over again when there's no way
I
to
think
pay
it's
for it?
probably like because we don't have like a system, right?
Yeah. Hey, you're breaking up. Yeah.
You want me to disconnect?
Oh, now you're good.
Okay. So I'll give you an example. I used to play soccer, football, right? A little bit.
Hmm.
I wasn't that great at it, but there was a few moments where I don't know what happened. I'm in the zone, as they call it in sports. I was just in the zone, and I was killing everything I touched. Just I made a goal from half the field, made a third goal, second goal. I was just killing it. These guys were like the guys that I play with were like, "What happened to this guy? Like, he had never played like this." But it was pure luck. Next day, I'm like, I don't know what happened. I can't do it again.
Yeah. That's why the music industry is just a tough place for people with no budgets, because it's like they're trying to win the lottery, you know? It's crazy. Like, they'll just be like, what do I do? Like, they'll try so many different things and they're never consistent at anything. So nothing ever works, you know?
Well, how do we like this is what we talk about, bro. Like, if you want to turn your dreams to reality, there's a there's like a process. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything that I have in my life or situations in my life at once was a dream. It once was an idea in my head.
Hmm.
Truthfully, everything that exists is this way. This can of Coca-Cola. Somebody one day thought of the brand Coca-Cola and just made the product. Somebody made this can out of aluminum, right? This microphone, cameras, the lights, everything at one point in time didn't exist in the material, right? In reality,
Hmm.
as we perceive it. And somebody said, what if I make this? How could I make this? And made it, right? So to take it from idea to manifested physical reality, there's certain steps, procedures that need to happen. And this is part of what we're talking about, right? This is the procedure. It's like, and we could think of so many times. So a lot of times what happens with people, I think, happened to me in the past, is as we're in that process of turning our dreams to reality, we can't see it. We don't believe it's possible because we don't understand like how it works. Like for example, if I asked you to make a microphone, like I say, hey, make
Hmm.
me a microphone from scratch.
Right.
Would you know how to do it?
No.
Right. You kind of we'd be like, oh shit, I don't fucking know. I might go on YouTube, Gemini,
Make a
hey, how do I make a
smartphone.
microphone?
Make a
Right. Make a
smartphone.
smartphone. Exactly. But guess what? If you go to Apple and you say, hey, how do I make an iPhone? They're gonna tell you, well, first you get this material, then you buy it from this, then you make this, then you put this, and there's a process. They know how to do it. They've done it
Yeah.
before. So I think a
That's
big
that's a good point. Like being in the music industry is kind of similar to that, you know?
we don't
There's
have mentorships. People don't have a guideline, like
yeah,
you don't have, it's really because a lot of these artists are hard to connect with. That's why most of the big artists that make it usually got co-signed or they met a big artist and then they showed them the way.
yeah, yeah.
And that's in every industry, actually, technically. Everything kind of works like that.
Well,
Life
one of the
works like that.
hardest things is to put yourself on. I'm glad I've been able to do it in my field, but it's so hard to put yourself on because with no guidance or anything,
Well, you can get to a
it's like
certain
the most
point,
rarest thing.
but you can get to a certain point. But if you like, at some point, you're gonna have to, which has already happened in your life, right? You met some people in your life that have mentored you to show you how to get to the next level, right? And then you're going to meet new people to get to the
Yeah,
level beyond that at some point, right? Like in it, especially we talk about entertainment. There's not a single artist in the world or actor or influencer or anything that didn't have a cosign at some point. I'm not
right.
saying that from the beginning, but at some point to get to the top level, I'm saying to where everybody in the world, like your household name, need a cosign at some point,
Yeah.
right? Now it
Drake
could just
needs to
be people like
co-sign
your shit.
me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's probably gonna happen. you know and that's but you as an artist we can't like depend on that, right? So like for me, for example, I'll tell you all, like me, like I know at some point I'm probably gonna collab with some big artist that I like, or somebody's gonna want to put me on in a way, right? Or kind of show me
Yeah,
the way, or be able to have an opportunity to like collab or work with somebody that I really respect in the game, and I'm down for that, right? But I'm not
right.
gonna be like chasing after that. I gotta build my value up so that one day that person maybe would notice me. And I don't know who it's going to be. Like I can't say it's going to be this person or this person, this person, right? It might even be a behind the scenes person that ain't even an artist themselves. You never know. But my point is, I'm just continuing to put myself out there the best way I can. And eventually, like bro, I got a call from a friend that's known me since high school today, friend Steven, right? Jibo, and he's helped me a lot. He's a DJ too, right? And we spoke about he was helping me with the budget of this video and that I'm editing, etc. And I'm talking to him, and he told me like some kind words, which I appreciate, which is just like, bro, like honestly, like you have incredible drive, and like your drive is impressive, because he's known me for over a decade and I'm still at this, right?
Yeah.
It's like the drive, man. I mean, that's for me. I can't talk about nobody else, but like I have crazy drive. But every artist that's successful has crazy drive. You don't know your timeline. You don't know how long it's going to take. But my dream is much bigger than my reality, and I know that like dreams to reality takes time, and it's
Yeah,
happening.
same here.
Literally,
Like,
where I'm living, how I'm living now, I dreamt about this 4 years ago, 3 years ago. It didn't happen exactly how I thought it would, but it did happen.
how I'm living right now, I dreamed about it a lot, but I kept accomplishing. I had like multiple dreams. Like I would achieve a dream, and I'm like, damn, there's more to it. I have another dream. You get to
It
that point,
unravels. It
just keep going.
unravels. Yeah.
My new dream is so big, it's like I'm not even 1% where I want to be. Because I want to have my own distribution company. I have my own record label. I want to have my own streaming platform. I want to have my own social media platform. I mean, I'm just going all crazy, going all the way in. There's it's just gonna be like, because every artist knows me, everyone in the music industry knows me. I can kind of pivot and do anything within the music industry. So I'm not just gonna stop at music marketing. Music marketing is like step one, you know? I just gotta keep going.
Yeah, it's phase one.
And that's the thing, like as you're progressing and doing what you love, you're successful. If I quit, I'll be unsuccessful, but it's not about having a lot of money or something like that. Just about doing what you love consistently and working towards something. Like, because I had a dream that When I first started out, my dream was to just make 3,000 a month. Then I make 7,000 a month. I was like, what the hell? I need to think big. I was like, if I can make 17,000 a month, I'll be like the happiest man in the world. I remember thinking that. Then I made like 30,000 in 1 month. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and now if you
Then
made seven, now if you made 3, 17, 7, any of these numbers, you'd be sad. You'd be like, fuck, like slow month.
yeah, now like about it's crazy because I really came from the bottom. I didn't have much growing up, so I was like, man, if I can just feed myself, I'll be happy. But I kept just achieving different dreams. Then I was like, man, what if my dream is to move to California? I moved to California, and then I was like, my dream is to live by the Grove. Then I moved by the Grove. Now my dream is like, now I'm dreaming bigger now. You need to have small goals too, still, but I'm dreaming like crazy right now. Like shit's trying to become like Drake, man.
Yeah, and to take it a little spiritual, I believe the dreams are put in us by our creator.
Right.
Something divine about dreams. When I say dream, I don't mean the dream you have when you go to sleep and you have it in your head and you wake up and you're like, what did I just dream? I mean the vision, the inspiration that you have in your heart where you're like, wow, this is where I need to go. This is what I need to do. That's put in us by our creators, put in us by God. And the fear is what is used to control us.
The
For lack of a
devil.
better term, the fear is the devil, the fear is the demons, it's the enemy, it's the thing to keep you from your dreams. So when
Have no
people have these
fear.
dreams, you got to be fearless. Yes. Not fearless as if you don't feel fear, but have the courage to
Only
feel the
fear
fear
God, man.
and still go towards your dreams. I agree with that. Yes. And even I'll explain that because that has a lot of negative connotation, right? That concept of fearing God that's in the Christian religion a lot, right? And other religions as well. It doesn't mean that you're scared of God. It doesn't mean
Right.
like you're like because it sounds negative, right? It's like, oh, fear him, so I have to obey. It feels like you're a slave to, right? But I mean, Jesus said if you're gonna be a slave to something. If you're not a slave to God, you're gonna be a slave to sin. But
Yeah. I mean, you're
when you
supposed
say
to be
when,
submit to
when we
God.
say fear, what it means is that my only fear is going against my Father, my Creator, the person who
Yeah.
loves us the most. Just like if you're a
The
son,
fear, well, what they're saying of fear God is like fear, like if you do something bad, like to an innocent person, you better fear God. It's karma.
I don't even look at it personally that way. I look at it like a father and son relationship, right? When we were kids, our
Hmm.
fathers are there to discipline us and they love us and they're there to guide us of how to be men. And our fathers, we feared them when we were a child, right? We feared the consequences of not doing wrong because we know our father may do something to us, right? But we know that our father loves us. Our father gives us love, and like we look up to our father. Like we're more scared of our father than we are of anybody else. And
Right.
but we know our father has our best intentions. So similarly, our father, our universal father to us all, is the one that we allow our fear to only be put into him. And what that means is that you don't fear anything else
Right.
because if I'm with God, who is almighty and all powerful, who can be against us? Who can be against me? Nobody. So I'm not gonna fear these people or these situations or even not having money. You know what I mean? Our Father is always gonna provide. That's on a more spiritual level, right? And really just having that full abundance mentality, man, of never being scared to pull the trigger. And if you feel the fear, which is natural, I feel fear every single day. It's just I have the courage to go against it. I have the courage to rise up against the fear. And your dreams are often on the other side of fear. That's what's keeping people from turning dreams to reality. Is
Hmm.
the fear serves as a test. It's actually a good sign. If you're feeling scared, it's a good sign you're going in the right direction. Even with artists, sometimes we're scared to try something new, express ourselves, create a new sound, produce
Right.
something different. And most of the time, that fear is actually a sign that that's where you need to go and that's where you'll find your breakthrough.
I fear. treadmills, mate.
Treadmills.
I don't want to lose weight. It's like no.
You feared the treadmill? That's a good, it's funny. What do you mean you feared treadmills? You like walking though.
Yeah, I was just joking. Yeah, I hit the treadmill every day. I've been running a mile a day, mate.
You're running them all day?
Yeah.
Really? Oh wow. Okay. I haven't ran in
Well, I
years.
walk like a mile or two a day, then I run a mile.
I used to run so much when I was younger, man, but I like walking.
You
Walking's
know what the
great.
fuck is going on, man? I've been working out and I'm gaining weight, and I haven't been eating as much. Is it the muscle
See,
that is turning into weight?
Malco, when you say I haven't been eating as much, can you tell me exactly how many calories and how many grams of the food you're eating? No. So you don't know what you're eating. Do you know, are you tracking everything? I've told you this. It's like, bro, it's like an artist. They're talking to you and they're like, oh, I'm not getting streams. Okay, what's your ad spend? What's your CPC? What's your blah, 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 blah. And they're like, I don't know. You're going to be like, well, you're an idiot. So
You
if
call
you're
me an
wondering
idiot, man?
why, if you're wondering why you're not getting the results, you got to take accountability of what's going on, right? But you're in the process,
Yeah,
which is what's
man, I
good.
drank 30 sodas, 14 Big Macs. It's like, no.
Like again, you see me drink Coca-Cola, it's Coke Zero, no calories. It's not going to make me fatter. It might have some other negative consequences, possibly, potentially, but it's not going to make me gain any fat. That's for sure.
Man, it's definitely
It's gonna be a challenge, man. It's gonna be good. I can't wait to do this podcast a year from now and just see a whole different human being in front of me.
yeah, I gotta fucking lose weight. I
How many
gotta stay
weeks?
healthy.
How many weeks? No cigarettes, no smoking, no weed, no cigarettes, no nothing. How many weeks?
And 2 weeks
We
and
in
a half.
winter 2 weeks and a half. We're about to hit three after the weekend.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so me and Malcolm both did this together. We
I
were
was
both
sweating a little earlier. I was having withdrawals, mate.
yeah, the withdrawals would come in waves for a while, for at least another month or two. But it's gotten a lot better for me. The emotional withdrawals were heavy, but it's gotten a lot better. I've already kind of lost the desire. I was on a date yesterday with a girl and she was like smoking a little weed, before, and I was like, I didn't even want it, I wasn't against
Hmm.
it too. It's just I just didn't. I don't feel. I see people on the street smoking cigarettes. I don't even feel the desire at this point. It's really nice. It's very freeing. Very freeing.
All right, well, it's been about an hour. You think we should wrap it up here?
I think so. I think that was a great little talk, man. Welcome to Dreams to Reality. Thank you
Thank you
for
guys.
tuning in.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We're gonna be doing this weekly, multiple times throughout the week, and I want to put out 1,000 podcast
Do it.
episodes.
Drop a comment, shoot us a DM if you want to be on the podcast. If you're an artist, tell your story. I think we want to welcome people on here to tell their story of how they turned their dreams to reality.
Absolutely. And if you guys have any marketing inquiries, make sure you guys DM us or send us a WhatsApp message.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
Rick, any last words?
Only words I have to say, my friend, is good morning. It's 5:53 in the morning.
It's 2 a.m. here. I got to do some campaigns tonight, and then that's why we kind of wrapped up early. But yeah, let's upload this soon and let's get it going. All right, I'll
Dream
see
to
you
reality,
later,
baby.
Rickson. All right, bye
D2R.
bye.
Deuces.